Good morning, good morning, good morning. Johnny Gonzalez, aka Upside Down Consciousness. Today's a special day, an ending of a year, the beginning of a new one. January 12th, 1987 was the day I was born into this physical realm. And today, January 12th, 2025, I am 38 years old. With that, I decided to participate in a cleansing. And this cleansing is going to allow me to take all of the suppressed thoughts, emotions, feelings, experiences that I've held in this year and allow me to express them, get it out of me. Because I got a whole year ahead of me this is my season. I'll just say it like that. I have been walking in faith for quite some time now. And with that, I have only done but one thing, and that is trust in the Lord. I've given my I've given my heart, my soul, my spirit to the Most High. And as described in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. And that's exactly what I have been doing. I've been walking a path that is not for anyone else. It's not for anybody's comprehension. It's for me and me alone. And I move with that spirit in me that's active and guiding me, despite what happens, despite my fruits not being visible. I just know that my roots are growing, and they have been, and they're getting stronger and stronger, and I'm patient. So, with that being said, we're going to jump right into the most suppressed feelings, thoughts, and emotions that I have been dealing with this past year. And that's with my mom. She currently is the guardian for my baby's journey in Genesis. And I'm grateful for that. So let's not get it twisted because this is not a bash on her. She's still my mom. I love her, always will love her, no matter what has been done or said or has happened between our relationship and within my family. She's my mom, plain and simple. But that doesn't give justification for actions that are malice and that are done with anger and hatred and resentment. That does nobody any justice. Because if you're using those types of behaviors and energies simultaneously as you're attacking and hurting and making attempts to hurt another, you are equally doing the same to yourself. So with that awareness, I will never look at this situation of being attacked as a means of, oh, I deserve it, or she has a right to attack me. No, it's like, well, hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. And I'll just leave it at that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to engage in a screen share that, one second, that's going to kind of just give an insight to what I've been dealing with for the past years. But like I said, I'm here to express myself. I'm here to get this out of me so I can heal from it. So we're going to start from right here. On Thursday, I had reached out to my mom. I said, "Do you want to have lunch with me for my birthday, Mom?" "No, what is it that you want, Johnny?" "I don't want anything nor need anything. I just wanted to communicate and have lunch or dinner." "This is not a good idea. You need to stop all this stuff you're trying to do, especially with the courts. You and Jackie malnourished Journey. Now he's in a bad shape, permanently disabled, and you guys did this to him. Obviously, you're still not able to communicate nor willing to listen. You're the only one who believes that narrative, and all that time thinking that way, you're only poisoning yourself. Take care. This will be my last attempt to reach out to you. I'm the only one. Anthony, Andy, Alyssa, Jaden, your dad, Carol, the list goes on. You can believe that, but it's not true. That's just you being you, forcing everyone to take your side when clearly that's not the case. Plus, everyone you named, I can communicate with and speak the exact opposite. Everyone you try to impose your narrative, just stay quiet to avoid conflict with you. But yet, you can't even have a civil conversation with me about this. Don't give me your fucking shit. I'm sick and tired of this. I spoke with Jaden and he told me all the crazy shit you would do to them. You malnourished Journey, you and Jackie. Say what you want, do what you want. Your day will come for both of you guys. What you did to Journey and the condition you left him in is the saddest thing. And whoever is supporting you and what you did to Journey, you tell them they will pay as well. Everyone has a judgment day and they will get theirs. This is at this point, it's comical to me because I know my mom and she's very stubborn. And I say that with reference to all of her kids are stubborn. We all possess that. It's just that most of us, pretty much all of us, have stepped away, have seen the example that she has created for us. And we're like, nah, we can't be like that. So it's allowed us to grow individually. And I think that that's the point of all of this. So this is why I don't take offense to her behavior towards me because it's just damaged trauma that she carries with her that has been translated into how she is with us and how she is with herself, most importantly. My response: so much hate in your heart when you know nothing, only the made up story you created in your mind and try to force on others to believe you. Typical behavior that you've done your whole life and every relationship you have had. You're so fixated on this narrative you created that you'll never budge. And all of your kids know this. It's going to take us being found not guilty and or case being dropped and us getting Journey and Genesis back for you to hopefully come to your senses. If you ever want to have a real conversation, since you never have done, I'm always open and willing to. Whoa, pause right there. What do you mean? Why would I say that? If you ever want to have a real conversation, since you never have done, I'm always open and willing to. Do you not realize that when all this happened, once CPS investigators called her and told her that we starved Journey and that he was going to die, she's been my enemy ever since. Not once did she have an open conversation or ask me what happened or even had any attempt to hear my side or version of the story. Not once in all these years, not once did she ever. But until then, you stay in your lane, let me handle what I need to handle, and let the cards unfold. Also, on your comment about judgment, why are you accusing and judging me? All you have done to slander me, attack me, cast spells and black magic, attempt to turn everyone against me, all for what? You're supposed to be my mom. Not once did you speak openly or ask me what happened or anything, yet you judge me and continue to do so. Why not focus on you and your life, raising the babies with love, and let God be my judge? You hold on to this anger and hatred in your heart, and you don't think that doesn't influence your environment and kids' spirit? Be mindful of that, please. I love you guys and hope resolution finds us sooner than later. Now, she's openly admitted to me, to others, and in past relationships, she's done the same thing. She dabs into the black magic arts, casts spells, a lot of practices that I won't comment on. I'll just say that I don't agree with them. Because at the end of the day, there's only two factors of life, that's love and that's fear. What are you operating from? It's like chemistry, positive, negative, alkaline, acidic, as above, so below, hot, cold, up, down. I mean, these are principles of life. So when encountered with situations or people or circumstances, you could always ask yourself, what polarity are they operating from? And that to me is a tool of knowledge that I've obtained to not be so sensitive when encountering things of this nature. Because at the end of the day, like I was expressing, God is going to judge me. God is going to judge me. That's it. No one else should have that ability to dictate me and my status of life, or to say that I'm right and or I'm wrong, or what I'm doing is correct or not correct. That's all for each of us to decide individually. And then at the end of our existence on this field of life, we'll meet our creator and we'll figure things out at that point. But until then, I don't feel that anybody should have that ability over anybody else to determine their path in life. It just doesn't work that way. So, knowing that, look, I don't want conflict, I just wanted to attempt to reach out. So, what I did is because she won't listen to me when it comes to Journey, I said, look, here's an Instagram of a doctor. If you're open, maybe look into his clinic and see about booking Journey a consultation at this MD doctor's for a second opinion. Journey has brain damage. Last thing he needs is some crazy vegan person. Hmm. Hmm. That's funny. See, this is where, because you have stored so much negativity, anger, and hatred that is not justified, you won't even give yourself an opportunity to consider this request I'm making to you, especially being that you don't know for certain what happened to Journey. You were never around him. You never saw him, never fed him, nothing. You didn't communicate with me or even give me the time of day to hear me out. You immediately turned on me and assumed the worst, which you always have done. Background story, really quick. Journey's about to be born. I tell her I'm going to have a home birth. She gets upset, doesn't want to talk to me, gets angry, threatens me because I want to have a home birth. We have a home birth. Despite her saying whatever she was going to say or do, she wouldn't come see Journey because we had a home birth. She wouldn't reach out because we had a home birth without her consent. And that carried on for the next 10 months of his life. She never was around him more than an hour. She never fed him. She never changed his diapers. She never bonded with him on a all day basis, or we were there for multiple hours at a time. Nothing. None of that happened in those 10 months of his life before this incident happened and occurred. And as I mentioned, she didn't communicate with me after the incident of what had happened. Not at all. I know you don't want your narrative to be torn down, but honestly, the truth is going to remain the truth no matter what. She's created a narrative that has been the only narrative that has been publicly recognized. And that was based off of the accusations of reports by CPS investigators who, when they were involved, when we disclosed that we were plant-based as parents, that was the red flag that was needed for them to pin us, throw us under the bus, as I described, and say that, oh, this is why he's in this condition, is because you guys malnourished him. Not one person, not one doctor saw him that said otherwise. All these doctors that are being used against us, it was all after the fact. They have no insight to his life, his diet, his regimen, nothing. What happened to Journey was not because we starved him or he was malnourished. To declare and accuse us of causing this to him is unjustified. Mom, it always has been and always will be. Yet, here we are years later, and you're still holding on to this anger and resentment to the point where you won't even take him to a proven doctor who is capable of assisting Journey. Then it begs the question, why? Is this about Journey? Why not consider it? No matter what you do or say, he is still my son. Just ponder on this, please. Now, hear me out. You go to a doctor in America, in the States, is that the only recognized approach to medicine and assisting the body to reclaim health again? Allopathic medicine, is that the only method of approach? No, it is not. Now, you go to a doctor who's funded and grants are provided to their medicines and treatments, they're limited on information. So when Journey was and has been going to all these doctors, they've labeled him, they've medicated him, they've done procedures on him, all of these drastic things. Yet from that, the people that encounter and that are with Journey, which is mainly my family, their belief systems are limited on what the doctors say. Just like it would be for anybody else. You're going to trust your doctor. You're going to go to your doctor because you think that they have the best interest and they have information that you don't have to assist you. But in fact, they themselves are limited on their information. Now, I say this and have said this and will continue to say this till I leave this plane of earth. The body is created in God's image, okay? The functions of the body and the systems of the body are, in fact, God's creation. Do you not believe that God created the body to withstand and to heal and to self regulate on its own? Because I do. Because I've done the research, I've done my studies, I've participated in programs and courses and schooling that has allowed me to have this interpretation of an alternative to health. Yet, despite that, I'm looked at as crazy. I'm looked at, my beliefs are off because they don't align with allopathic medicine. Because I can look at a condition of any condition and I can assess it based off of my own intellectual knowledge and research because I've done my due diligence to comprehend information on a very thorough level. Yet people with opinions, no evidence or supporting factors of research on their part is admitted to this. Only their opinions. So when someone tries to tell me that my son is not going to heal, you know what I'm thinking in my head? Shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck what you think or say or feel. Don't subject me to your limited fucking beliefs that my son cannot heal, let alone anybody else in any other condition. I don't care. It's not just about my son. If you're going to a doctor and a specialist and you have cancer, you have some quote unquote disease, and they're telling you to take medication, do chemo, do radiation, participate in all these experimental drugs, fuck all that. When God made the human body, it's supposed to last forever. Have you ever heard that before? No. Am I wrong? Well, of course I could be proven wrong because we don't live forever. Look at the lifestyles we live. Look at the shit we do to ourselves. Of course we don't live forever because we kill ourselves. Why would we do that to ourselves? Because that's the way that the world is being controlled to do. Allow us to take ourselves out little by little, day by day. So if in fact this was about Journey's best interest, why in the fuck would you not consider this request? Oh, because he's vegan. He's a vegan doctor. So I'm not going to do that because you are vegan and look what you did to him. Hmm, little biased, don't you think? So then she asked a very, very good question. Then why is Journey disabled? Why? A sincere response that I had to think on and I had to like write it out because this was a sincere response. Because typically, I mean, look at we can go back into her messages and you see that when she communicates, it's aggressive. It's aggressive. And I mean, I don't even want to go back to my messages from 2024 from her to me because it'd make you feel sick. If you see the shit that she's done and said to me, she's my mom. She birthed me today, 38 years ago. She loved me. I think she cared for me. She did her best. So I responded with what happened because she never even heard the story. She never even gave me the opportunity to tell her what happened. And here we are years and years later, and she's still attacking me. And she's still doing all this to try to break me down, wishing I would be punished and crucified and go to jail and suffer based off of a narrative that she's created in her mind. A narrative that's not true. How is it not true? Because there's not one person that could validate anything that she's saying or anything that these reports have said. Nothing. Oh, but but you were accused, you were charged criminally for this. Okay. Did I not go through a trial already? Were they not able to find me not guilty? But that's not what happened. You got a hung jury. You got a mistrial. It's not the same. No, it is the same because our judicial system, quote unquote, is not where it's supposed to be. Well, how do you know this? Because I've gone down this rabbit hole. You think I just accepted this fate? You don't think that I've had to figure out, well, how the fuck is CPS going to tell me how to live my life that I can and can't do? That I have to feed my kid a certain way. How are they going to do that? What gives them the authority and the jurisdiction to grant the things that they've done to take away my kid, to detain him from us, to put him up for adoption, to drag us through these court proceedings, to have all these files and records of all hearsay information be put into the record to use against us? How did that all happen? And none of it's true or validated. Not one of it's behind someone that signed an affidavit saying that we saw him do this. We saw him participate in this that caused harm and abuse. We saw it and we'll validate it. Not one fucking person. And I went through a whole complete trial. The Fifth Amendment states that nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb. Which means that I've gone through a trial against a seasoned veteran attorney, and he wasn't able to convict me. We had a 6-6 on the jury panel. So 6 of those 12 people said, this guy's not guilty. We can't agree that he did this. And you know what? All it takes is one person to say that this person's not guilty. And guess what? That verdict is not guilty. But that wasn't the case because here I am pending retrial 3 years later. So is this really about justice? I'll tell you it's not, which is why I had to put my life on pause. My career, my restaurant, everything I had to put on pause because I had to hit the fucking books. I had to study, I had to research. I had to figure out what was happening because no one was going to come and save me. I had to be the person to come and save myself. And that's where we're at today. So, my response was the story that she never heard, that she never participated in, never took the time to even be open and communicate with me. The Wednesday before this happened, I had my restaurant gathering. I was just about to open my restaurant. He was there and he was perfectly fine. He was being, his rash was already almost healing. And he was being passed around, enjoying himself. Friday morning when we left, he had his bottle and was playing and dancing, listening to music with our boys, Jaden in the back with him. We had lunch and went to dinner. He was on my shoulders while we were walking in town. He was perfectly happy and did not cry or fuss one time at all the whole day and night. After dinner, we went back to the hotel and the boys watched a movie, and Jackie fell asleep. And Journey was playing with his toys on the bed with me until he laid down himself and fell asleep. Mom, I promise you that there was absolutely nothing wrong with him. When I got up that morning and went downstairs with the boys to exercise, he was still asleep with Jackie. When she brought him to me downstairs, he was lethargic, like half asleep. I would compare it to when someone takes too much sedative medicines and is just out of it. We drove to the ER and I carried him inside and was with him by myself the whole time until he was going to be transferred. Mom, when they administered his glucose into him, he had responded to that immediately. His eye movements and awareness were improved. This is why I told Jackie to come in and go with him to be transferred while I went with the boys. Because COVID rules, only one parent was present at the time. After his examination and tests were done, nothing was brought up of abuse, neglect, or malnourishment, nor was he described like that by the nurses and doctor that had seen him. In fact, he said he was well developed and well nourished in those words. We went to the emergency room, he was tested, he was treated, he was looked at, examined, a report was made. Nothing was brought up to the attention that we did anything to him or that he was malnourished or anything of that nature. But then he was transferred. This is where the things change. Here is where the problems escalated. When they transferred him, they administered into him fentanyl. A 10-month baby who has no vaccinations. He has a very, very cleansed body, has never been administered any type of or any form of pharmaceutical medication whatsoever. And he's given fentanyl. Like, come on, push pause and think about that. Go Google it and research it. Someone came in and shot my baby up with that shit. I wasn't there, so I didn't fucking know, nor would I have allowed it. By the time he got to the next hospital, he was obviously sedated due to the drugs and placing of an oxygen air tube, and they left it out him, and now it looks like he was in a worse condition than before he got there, which led to CPS being called, which in this hospital, guess what? They have a CPS unit team inside the hospital. Convenient, right? And the escalation of it all happened because we disclosed being plant-based. And since he was smaller than the average overweight baby now, the only cause had to be we did this. And that was the angle that remained to accuse us and arrest us. By this time, when I found out they were already giving him multiple medications and sedatives without my consent, and because I was refusing and telling them no, it was too late. I was viewed as the crazy one because I was refusing all the shit they wanted to do. It's not right. Now it played out and we were thrown under the bus as if we did this. By the time you were called and everyone else, the investigation started as we were guilty and he was going to die because we starved him. And those people who were already against us, and that was clear by all the damning reports, they, when I say they, I'm referencing the CPS investigation team. Those reports are so hard to look at now. And I mean, they've always have been, but even more so now that I've studied the law and I comprehend why they do what they do and how they escalate everything to the highest extremities to take kids away from their parents because it's all about money. And that's not my opinion. I can back this up with law. I could back this up with law. This is why I haven't spoken anything about law publicly because I don't want it to be my opinions. I want to fucking show you. I want to show you how this is all fraudulent, how this is all not how it's supposed to be. That time will come though. Journey has been sedated on medication since August 1st, 2019, every single day. All the meds he's been forced to take, and his little body isn't ever going to be able to heal in that condition. And it hurts me so much because there's nothing I've been able to do because I'm the bad guy and did this to him. Hurts me so much, Mom. So you have someone in a condition that he was in and is being given sedatives every single day for years and years and years. Do you think that is going to blossom improvement? Is he going to get better? It's not going to happen. And I know that. Others may not know that. Others may not believe that, but I know that to be true because I've studied the body, I've studied the systems. I understand how the systems of the body work and operate. So here we go. You want to believe all this you're doing is projecting on me. I saw him that Thursday and he was very, very fussy and his legs were swollen. Jay said he was crying and crying all day Friday and he was breathing funny and Jackie was covering his mouth to make him his breathing through his nose. His body was shutting down because you were not giving him proper nutrients, which is the formula almost every mammal on earth survives off of milk, and you took it away because you guys waited 2 hours to bring them in. You caused all this brain damage, not fentanyl. Remember all those nights he would cry nonstop. You and Jackie remember. So does Sam. Hearsay, hearsay, hearsay. Now she's using other people to come in to be a witness to this. My son Jaden, he was never around Journey. He at the time during this time he never, sure he'd come over and visit, but they didn't really stay the night. They didn't really him and his brother and his siblings. Um, they live with their mom, and so their contact and being around Journey was very limited. But notice how she's trying to justify it because she's already manipulated them to believe their narrative, her narrative. And so she's very, very cunning, manipulative individual. And I say that with respect because, like I said, she's my mom. I'm not trying to bash her. It's just it is what it is. This is a pattern behavior. She's been married 10 times and all of the relationships occur and happen the same way. There's the same pattern of behavior. This incident with Journey is not the first time. The layout of what happened to Journey and the situation, this has happened in her life multiple times with different characters. And it's like a repeated cycle. It's very, very interesting, the dynamics of all of this. So I respond with, no, what you said is incorrect and not true. I mean, there's no other way to put it. What she just said was false. This is where there will be no remedy because what you believe is set in stone. You can't budge her. You're not going to we've my siblings have tried to. This is why all of my siblings don't communicate with her. My brother literally left the state to get away from her and wouldn't come back because of her. My sister, same thing, distant relationship. My younger sibling had to distance himself, and he was the last to distance himself, but you know, he's still the baby, so he's kind of in between. But when he's been away from her, he has that awakening where it's like, oh wow, she has a control over me. And she does. That's just the way it goes. Anybody that knows her, has interacted with her, she's a very, 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 very controlling person. It's her way or the highway. And if you're not in line with her, you're her enemy. You don't want her as an enemy because she's very destructive, both in the physical and spiritual realms. You're the one that's in denial. All these people heard him cry nonstop. Oh, excuse me. You nor anyone that never saw him cannot validate any of your claims. Not Jay, not Sam, no one, because they were not around him. Never even prior to this would Journey cry all night. Like, where are you getting this from? You were never there. Sam was never there because Journey was with Jackie. It's all bullshit. Well, I opened up to you, and if you don't want to accept the truth, I can't make you. I just know that since Journey is currently in your care, I offered an alternative. That's all. If you really love him and want what's best for him, you will consider. You're the one that's in denial. All these people heard him cry nonstop, and you had him in a sauna setting at the gym. I have that video of him crying and crying. Alyssa saw this horrible rash, and Jackie took him to the three doctors, and they told her he was malnourished. Jackie knew that there was something wrong with him, but for whatever reason, she didn't want to do anything about it. You guys need to come to terms with what you guys did to Journey. This one's no one else's fault but your guys's. My response: see how you're fixated on lies? These are all lies. When the gym doesn't have a sauna, our gym doesn't have a sauna. How is she gonna say this knowing it's fucking false? Like this is the behavior, this is the manipulation part on her part. She's convinced people to believe lies. Two, you have a video of a baby crying? What date? What time? How old was he? Throwing whatever shit you can on the walls to make something stick when you know damn well the narrative you have believed in all these years is bullshit. Now you're speaking for Jackie like you had an amazing relationship and communicated with her daily to know details? No, never happened. All you want is for us to confess so to validate your narrative, and it won't happen because it's not true. Here you go again, judging us like you're God and it's your fulfilled duty. It's very disheartening for me because Journey's mom, Jackie, if anybody knows her, she's the most loving, kindest, soft hearted person ever. And no way, shape, or form would she ever jeopardize her babies for anything or anyone. Yet she's been dragged through all this shit just because she's my partner. And because I obviously have this information of health and have been a detoxification and health coach and trainer for 10 plus years. So she got the back end of the stick because she was with me, right? And her name was dragged and slandered on. And she's been accused of so much stuff, which it's hurtful because it's all lies. All of it. It's all lies. When my mom called CPS multiple times on me prior to all of this, it was out of spite. It was her being salty because of her relationship with me, because I don't let her control me. I don't let her dictate what I can do or how I should be. And I don't give her that power. And she doesn't like that. So she does these twisted maneuvers to hurt me in a way without her really doing it to my face. So she calls CPS on me multiple times. And so what? CPS comes and says like, "Oh, well, let me check your baby. Oh, he looks good. He seems happy. We'll just take him to get a visit from a doctor." Okay, well, we go and we do that. The doctor looks at him, sees him, nothing wrong with him. Oh, he's a little underweight. Just feed him a little bit more. Okay, no big deal. That happens multiple times. But because that happened, no one, everyone that saw him, the doctors that saw him prior to the 10 months, they had nothing bad to say, just that he was smaller. Is being small, is there something wrong with that? No, no. Do they not have an automated reporting system where you have to report if you suspect any abuse or neglect? Why didn't anybody do that before? Why didn't anybody call before? When I take Journey with me to the gym every single day to go work out and work with clients, and people would see him, hold him, push him around in his little stroller, why didn't anybody, not one person out of the teachers, the psychologists, the doctors, the law enforcement officers that saw him, why didn't nobody call prior to this? This is all relevant because there was nothing wrong with him. Someone just took control of the narrative, my mom, and created this story for people to believe that we abused him and neglected him and starved him for days. Those are the exact words that were used. We starved him for days. You're in complete denial. You go from one into the other and you're gonna lose horribly. You guys did this to Journey. You guys malnourished him. Everyone saw it and no one really had the guts to do something about it, but I did. This should never have happened to him. He should be playing and running and being a normal child, but you instead, he's disabled because of you guys and the crazy shit you guys did to him. Notice that she doesn't have specifics. She doesn't know because she has no insight. She's going based off of just what's happening in her own mind and the narrative she's created and the negative emotions and feelings that she keeps in her thought process and her mental state. And she doesn't have any validations of any of this. Then when I win and get Journey back and he heals, then what? Just because you think so negatively and are limited on your ability to see him heal doesn't mean I have to. And to be honest, I said this, it's really not even about winning or losing. I just am doing my due diligence to resolve this matter and get my son back, who should have never been taken from me in the first place. So you can say and do and think whatever you feel is best for yourself, but it has no merits on my beliefs and my truth and my future. Just enjoy and cherish your time with him and my baby girl Genesis and let life unfold itself. And that's how it ended. That's how it ended. Now, if you're new to all of this and you don't really know, and it's like, well, where'd all this come from? Like, yeah, there's a big story behind all this. And like I said, I just got to get this all out of me because I'm going into a new year and I don't want to hold on to any of this anymore. I don't think badly of my mom. I don't think badly of the people that are trying to prosecute me. Like I've taken all this darkness and I've just been transmuting it to love. That's all that I can do. That's all that I want to do. I don't want to hold on to any of this anymore. I want to let it all go. I want to grow from all of this, which I have been, and I will continue to do so. So with that being said, until next time, peace, love, and health.